Welcome back to Video Game News. This is March the 1st. Hard to believe it's already the beginning of March. How time flies. With that said, there first is a pretty big new PSN sale going on, and it's for indie games. So if you're an indie game fan, I highly recommend checking it out. First up, we have Cuphead is on sale for $14.99. Of course, it's a game I highly recommend to anyone who likes decent difficulty platformers. And the art style is, of course, on a different level. Also, we have on sale for $11.99 Stranded Deep, which is a survival crafting game where you're stranded on an island. The goal is to get off the island successfully. So you have to come across stuff and build things. Also, we have an interesting VR game, which I recommend because it's actually a lot of fun and interesting if you have a VR headset, though. It's called Job Simulator on sale for $12.99. Also on sale for $7.49 is the complete edition, which includes all the DLC extra content for Little Nightmares. Also, Super Hot VR is on sale again. It is on sale for $9.99. Then we have the Shark Game Man Eater. It's on sale for $23.99. Then we have the new VR Five Nights at Freddy's game, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, $14.99. Next, now this is a game I definitely highly recommend taking advantage of the sale. If you don't have the game already, check it out. And that is Undertale is on sale for $8.99. Undertale is probably one of the best indie games of all time, in my opinion. Coming in next, we have for $19.49 on sale Subnautica, which is basically an underwater survival crafting game. So a little interesting take on the genre. Next, we have Untitled Goose Game. It's on sale for $13.99, $6 off. It is an interesting game, I will say. Next game I highly recommend is a great love letter to old school beat 'em ups, and that is on sale for $20.99. River City Girls. Next we have also on sale, of course, the remastered of the Samurai Jack game. Of course, Samurai Jack Battle Through Time is on sale for $23.99. We, of course, Nexomon Extinction, which is an interesting indie developer take on Pokemon, with a little more complexity to the actual mechanics. It is on sale for $12.49. Next, we have Oddworld New and Tasty is on sale for $4.99. Basically, it's a remaster of the original Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I do highly recommend Oddworld New and Tasty. I mean, $4.99 is dirt cheap, and Oddworld is a great series. Also, we have Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a game I can't praise or recommend highly enough. Now, I have it digitally on the Switch, and of course, I got physical version through Limited Run Games, but it is more than worth the $14.99 asking price. Return of the Obra Dinn is a great, unique first-person viewpoint, like mystery puzzle-solving game. It's very interesting, and the whole game was made by one person. Also, the same guy who made Return of the Obra Dinn also did the game Papers, Please, which is another indie game that I highly recommend. Next, we have the Dragon's Lair Trilogy package for $9.99. Another great indie first-person shooter game I highly recommend with the unique, interesting art style. It's also a survival crafting game. It's unique, though, for its genre. It is called Void Bastards. That's the actual name of the game. It's on sale for $17.99, and that is like $12 off. Pretty good deal. Moonlighter is another good indie game I personally recommend. Moonlighter is right now on sale for $5.99. Very cheap. and definitely more than worth the $6 asking price. Last mention is a game I can't recommend highly enough. I've reviewed this game. I've done a full playthrough of it if you're all interested. The art style is gorgeous, great platformer, puzzle solving, and everything. And that is Rime. Is on sale for $10.49. Now on to the PS Plus games for the month, which is a superb month. However, I'm not even really going to bother talking about the games for gold because Xboxes kind of suck. And given now there's actually a petition being signed by Xbox players to petition to boycott or whatever, like the games or whatever, games or the games with gold. But the PS Plus is pretty impressive with 4 games total. The first one is a very unique puzzle game. It is exclusive for only the PS5. Now, the other 3 games are interesting. First, we have a VR game, which is a game I've actually been wanting to play. And now that I know it's going to be free, I can pick it up for free. So, can't beat that. It's called Fairpoint. It's a VR first person shooter game. As I said, I've been wanting to try this game for a while now, and I'm glad that I can now try it and I don't have to pay a single penny for it. So that's awesome. Also, we have next game is a game I already own physical, so uh, can't do anything about this one, but this is going to be great for many people out there. The second game for free, which blows my mind, Final Fantasy VII Remake is free for PS4 players as long as you have PS Plus. That's hard to believe. They're doing Final Fantasy VII Remake for free. And Fairpoint, to be fair, is a actually pretty solid VR game from what I've heard. So that's a pretty solid VR offering. And the last is another pretty solid one. This is one I have not played, but I've heard very positive stuff about, so I may definitely probably download it along with Fairpoint, and that is Remnant from the Ashes. Now, the reason why I'm curious is about this game is the gameplay looks good, and it actually got a very positive review when Yahtzee reviewed it like a year or two back. And trust me, it takes a lot to get a positive review from Yahtzee. So I'm definitely gonna be checking out Remnant from the Ashes. So the two for me that I'm definitely looking forward to is Fairpoint and Remnant from the Ashes. Though I think for most people it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I definitely understand why. With that said, next bit of news before we wind up the rest. We got a bunch of trailers on information for Pokemon. We got like views, looks of like Pokemon Snap remastered coming. Also, we got a look at a new remake. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is getting remakes. Doesn't look that great to me. Personally, what caught my attention was the game Pokemon Legends. And what really caught my eye is the fact it's going to be an open world Pokemon game. That actually sounds really intriguing and really interesting. As you know by now, I'm not the biggest fan of open world games, though I love the Spider Man games. That is one of the first open world games that I genuinely really love. But this Pokemon Legends game actually has me very intrigued. Also, a new character got released trailer for Genshin Impact. Also, Monster Hunter Rise, it's been announced, is getting a PC release, which is kind of surprising. So it'll begin released for Nintendo fans and for PC, but not for Xbox or PlayStation. Well, at least I do have a Switch, so at least I can actually play Monster Hunter Rise, and the game really looks interesting. But for PC players, well, there you go, a really solid Monster Hunter game you'll be able to play. Also, it's been announced E3 2021 in person event has been canceled according to the city board that is in charge of tourists events and everything in San Diego. So, yeah, unfortunately, there will be no in person, it looks like, E3 event again this year. Don't know yet about EVO or Comic Con yet. But if EVO was canceled, then I wouldn't be surprised if Comic Con gets canceled. Next, we have PS5 will add the ability, come the summertime, the ability to add internal storage space to your PS5. Kind of interesting it's taking this long to do that. Also, unfortunate announcement, of course, Google Stadia. It's been confirmed that their main game studio for Google Stadia, which is responsible for Guilt, which is a game I reviewed in the past, and I highly recommend it. It's a great indie game, but unfortunately, the game studio is being closed by Google Stadia, which says to me Google Stadia is probably about ready to be canceled. And I had a feeling that was probably going to happen, though. Google Stadia was revolutionary, and I myself didn't have any really bad experience with Google Stadia. Also, an announcement from Square. Tetsu Nomura is handing over the Final Fantasy VII Remake co-director position. So I'm wondering if maybe Nomura is going to be working on more future Kingdom Hearts games, given that's his baby that he loves passionately about. Also, announcement: there is a series coming to Netflix based on the game The Division. Interesting. Also, we have a new Superman reboot apparently movie, and it's being directed by, and script writing is going to be apparently done by J.J. Abrams. Not sure how I feel about J.J. Abrams redoing Superman, and that kind of sucks because I guess that means Henry Cavill's Superman is over, and that sucks because even though I'm not the biggest fan of Man of Steel movie, I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. Also, we got a big announcement. Fighting EX Layer is coming to the Nintendo Switch with updates and everything. Looks solid, and speaking of someone who has Fighting EX Layer, got it day one on PS4, I highly recommend for you fighting game fans, which are Switch owners, get Fighting EX Layer. It's a great game, great solid mechanics, a lot of fun, characters are interesting, and if you're a fan of Street Fighter, you're really gonna enjoy this. Give it's made by the same people who did the Street Fighter EX series. Also, it's been announced Final Fantasy VII Remake has stuff coming out. First up, Ever Crisis, which is gonna have details on the original game. Also, we have a DLC add-on story expansion pack for the character Yuffie, and it's going to be free. But the unfortunate part is it's going to be exclusively for PS5 owners only, which sucks. Also, we got a Battle Royale, apparently game coming to mobile, Battle Royale Final Fantasy VII Remake Battle Royale game. Personally, I don't care because I don't like Battle Royale games. Also, we have a reimagining thing being set up. There is going to be like a mobile release of a new take or a D remake of the remake, which is going to have a turn-based battle system, but have in combat is going to look more like Final Fantasy VII Remake, though it's going to play more like original Final Fantasy VII outside the battle mechanics or battle gameplay wise. It's going to be look a little bit more like original Final Fantasy VII with some better graphics, which intrigues me. I would personally love to see this get released on console. Like Nintendo Switch, please. I don't care about mobile. I don't. I only own like one game on mobile, Final Fantasy wise, and it's the Final Fantasy III remake. Also, yeah, the reimagining story thing that's being put together is going to have story stuff going here from Crisis Core, Before Crisis, Dirge of Cerberus, and Advent Children. And this is going to begin release in 2022. Also, been announced being ported to the Nintendo Switch. I believe it's getting remastered as well. Star Wars Republic Commando, which is a game I highly recommend given I played the original version of the game on the original Xbox. It's a really fun, great first person shooter game, and I can't recommend enough. In my opinion, it's in the top 5 best Star Wars games of all time. And it's getting a Switch release. That's definitely something that's going to be probably a day one for me. Also, we have a quick announcement, some stuff. Spirited Away, Studio Ghibli classic, my favorite anime movie of all time, is going to begin a stage play adaptation from the film, which actually has me very interested. That's actually kind of cool that Spirit Away is going to get an actual stage play. So I think Miyazaki fans like myself will definitely find this interesting. Also, two games that I thought I'd write down Metacritic scores of. Critic and user scores of. First up is the new Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected. It has a 75% critic score and a 6.7 user score. Not great. Bravely Default 2 has a 77% critic score, but a user score of 8.5, which says the regular game players are enjoying it definitely a lot more than obviously the critics. Because 8.5 out of 10, that's pretty good. And a very positive note. But with that said, that is video game news for March the 1st. Leave a comment. Let me know what your personal opinions are on game stuff. If you're at all interested, by the way, in any of these stories, like the Nomura situation or any of the other Final Fantasy VII remake news, you can find full articles on GameSpot.com. Since for some reason right now Game Informer's website is currently down, but whatever. With that said, I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube show. Hopefully enjoyed the chill wave music in the background. See you again soon enough.